hopefully they're not gonna like.
I mean, even if they sort of...
Good evening, SRA Nation, and welcome to Season 12.
Today is going to be a new challenge, aside from being sand for. We're racing on the surface of the sun, apparently.
Heading down towards the main start line.
Maximizing that track just behind. That's exactly what we were talking about. That one corner. So critical to your lap time. You have to send it. This is the apex curving there by a little bit.
Everybody's now bunched up, and you do not want that.
Rewind now at the end of Sector 1 in the spot you really don't want to, but the fight's not over.
Still there on the inside, and the McLaren's still not going to give the place up.
And we're off and away for SRA.
Good evening, SRA Nation, and welcome to Season 13, the finale. It is round number 8 for Division 1. It is Valencia. I'm Alexa Marshall, joined by Stephanie Fisher and Trey Morgan. I wasn't here last week, but Stephanie and Trey definitely were. Talk us through it. What was Alton Park like, and what can we expect into this finale tonight, Trey?
Oh, last week was great. We had a lot of good battles. But not a lot of overtaking. That's normally just the way that Alton Park goes, you know. So there was a lot of pressure being put on cars, but these D1 drivers respond to pressure very well, and so we'll have to see how that translates into this week.
Yeah, most definitely. And while Stephanie fiddles with the server in the background momentarily, let's quickly go to the track map. As of course, it's Valencia. We're going to be here for the finale. It is located in Chester, in the Valencia community in Spain at the south of Europe. It is 4.005 kilometers. That converts to 2.489 miles. 14 corners, a stadium circuit, and Trey, talk us through this track.
All right, I can do that. So obviously you start with the super long pit straight. That's where most of your overtaking is going to be done out of turn 14. But on to turn 1, we have Duhan, a really tight but fast left-hander with a late apex. That really sets up a good overtaking opportunity into turn 2. Michelin. It's a very slow left-hander into... Let's see. The descriptions on these are not correct because this says a slight right kink, and that is not a slight right kink. Anywho. So a slow turn 2 of Michelin into turn 3, which is a slight left-handed kink that you should be able to go straight, which is... Angela Nieto, and then you have a hard braking zone into the right-hander turn 4 of Aspar, a short little straight down into turn 5, Pons, and then you have a nice little run onto turn 6, Bernat Martinez, and then you have the second straight where you can really get overtaking, because turn 7, Champi, Herreros is a very fast left-hander. You can go alongside through it, but it's very hard to do so. And then you have a hard braking zone into turn 8 Ferrari. It's a long corner, a lot longer than you'd expect, so you have to be careful when you get onto the power. But then you have the flat-out turns of 9 and 10, Jorge Martinez Aspar and Nico Terrell. But right after turn 10, you have to get hard on the brakes again for turn 11. Adrian Campos, which leads down on a small straight to turn 12. Angelo Nieto, which you can take a lot faster than you would normally think, but it's a short right-hander onto the long left-hander of 13, Ducati. It's a lot longer than you would think, and it pushes you out wide, which should hopefully set you up perfectly for the exit of 14, Champi, back onto that long pit straight again.
Yeah, so it's a stadium track. It's chaos. And like you said, that key factor, turn number 13, it pushes those cars right onto the outside. So it's going to be a dive down the inside into that final corner where you will most likely see a lot of overtakes. Turn number 1, also possibility to go wide during qualifying. 4 and 5, hard and technical to get right. Turn number 6, hard dive bombs, as well as 11 and 12 most likely. I do not know if Stephanie is still fiddling about with the server, but if she is not, would you like to take us through the drivers and team standings?
I will. I will take us through really quick because we have only 45 seconds worth of practice before we start heading over to qualifying. So we'll do a quick driver standings, which are going to be they're a bit spicy for the last race. Let me tell you, guys, it's Travis Nordstrom and Jeff Spangler, 18 points apart. So that means that if Mr. Spangler managed to get P1 and Mr. Nordstrom is in P4 or less, then Mr. Spangler will win the drivers' gold championship. And then Andrew Rados, if he gets super duper lucky, which he has, gets P1 and the fastest, the pole, extra points. He could technically take it away if everybody else does, the other two do pretty poorly in the race. So Andrew has really shown us how fast he can be, and he can be really fast. We'll see what happens there. Dropping down to the silver, you have Kelvin Lau in P1 for the silver class, and he just needs to get P5 or better. Ilpo Ruotsalainen is in the running. He possibly could get that. He has 280 points, whereas Kelvin has 317 points. So that's what? Math, 37-point difference. Pretty high. So, but it's not out of the question for Ilpo to take it on him. Team standings. We'll jump down to those quick. Your big ones are going to be Pillars Horse Racing, Madhouse Racing, the McCarrans, and Visceral, the Nuba RS. Those are the 3 teams that are battling. You can see Madhouse and Visceral have the locked in 869 points together. Only 20 points behind Pillars Horse Racing with Coadroma and Travis Nordstrom. And somewhere maybe we have the math for that. We don't, for the clinching of what they would have to do to get it. But anyway, those are some tight battles. Not guaranteed that Pillars is going to get it. Madhouse or Visceral could get in there and take it from them. So we are just starting in qualifying, and if you give me a brief second, I'll be ready to hop over.
Most definitely am. And what we mean by hop over is Stephanie also making it so that I can see the big old screen, as well as, of course, qualifying now underway as time is ticking under the clock. It is, if you're new here to SRA, we'll run through this real quick for you. First 10 minutes of qualifying is set for your silvers, and then the final 10 set for the gold. That can lead to very interesting circumstances where it may be a warmer or cooler track for the gold drivers, and it makes it quite the split. As right now, we are going to be watching Anton Rushevic as Rushevic or Vic. I am so sorry if I mispronounced that, but we're going to roll with it. And Trey, you had your first run here. You had your first time commentating D1 last week here. This is your second time doing it. I'll let you take us through this lap here.
All right, so you saw him.
You may have just invalidated turn 1.
Yeah.
It happens.
Yeah. So turn 1, you can go a lot wider than you would think, but turn 2, not so much. There are very stringent track limits on the outside of that. Turn 3, now and down into turn 4, a lot slower than you would expect, onto a short straight, where you go through a corner that you normally want to stay a gear higher than you would originally think. You want to get good traction out of that corner so that you don't spin. It's very easy to do so. Now we are onto what I consider to be the back straight. It's a shorter straight, followed by a left-handed kink. You see him going through here. You want to stay to the outside, though, to set up this, not quite hairpin, but it certainly feels like it with how long it can be. Then you've got a quick little S into another hard braking zone, a really tricky braking zone. It's really easy to go wide on this corner here, and that will cause issues for the back half of your lap because that sets up the entire rest of the lap. You've got a quick right-hander here, can go a little bit wider than you'd think, but then you have the final corners, a wide push to the outside. Very easy to go deep into this corner since it's a little bit downhill, but he does a good job there. And now he hopes to set up for a lap 2, which he hopefully won't invalidate.
Yeah, so unfortunately an invalidation there on the first lap for Rushovic, as he does now go down back into turn number 1, and he looks like he will pushing it right to the limit. I believe that may have been another invalidation, but it is going to be Joel Moffat who currently goes to the top. 1 minute 30.992 for the time to be set. Less than a tenth behind though by 0.050, as actually Fazli Majid goes to the top. 1 minute 30.885. Getting into those 1 minute 30s very quickly. It's now Rust who goes top. 1 minute 37.47. Had no idea Boeing made racing lap times here. Hopefully sometimes better than it can be in the air, but right here we're on the circuit. We're in good old Spain, and it's one place to have a season finale. It is 21 degree ambient, 21 degree track temperature, no clouds in this. Well, it's a little bit, well, it looks cloudy, it looks foggy, but as calling of the game, it is nice and clear with optimum track surface and a 3 km/h wind coming into the circuit. Somebody convert that to miles per hour, or for every American or British folk, because we use weird systems where we use both Imperial and Merit. As we go through the left-hander, it's going to be nice and clean for Fazli Majid right now, and we are going to continue. It is the Lamborghini currently on top with the Honda NSX, currently sat P number 2. Rutsalainen sits P number 3 with Guy Manperson P number 4, and Kelvin Lau to round out the top 5 here in the silver qualifying as it does stand. 15 minutes 20 seconds remaining. 5 more minutes will remain of silver qualifying. As long as they get over that timing line, even if it's just 1 second before that 10-minute mark hits, they can go for another lap. As Joel Moffat goes to the top, 1 minute 36.25. Can Fazli Majid come back and counter? He will only go up to P number 2 by 0.035 behind. Guy Manperson will come across the line. He will go top to default Fire Queso, who did go top momentarily. 1 minute 33.07 for Guy Manperson, as Laz goes P number 2, 0.233 behind. But right now it is going to be the Beamer on top, as the Ferrari 296 of Joel Moffat for Madhouse is going to be nice and tidy. It is a Beamer followed by a McLaren, followed by 2 Ferraris, and then a Honda. So a nice little mix up there in the top 5, Stephanie.
Yeah, I'm taking a look at Moffat here, who is, his delta's pretty close to getting close to Guy Manperson, but those are pretty close as there. But I don't think it's going to be enough, as Guy Manperson is 2/10 up on his lap time also. Don't think he's going to quite get it. So the 2 people, though, in silver that we are also looking at closely would be Calvin Lau and Ilpo Rutsalainen, both looking to compete for the silver win. Calvin is on top of that race. Ilpo is hoping he could take it back from him. So we'll see what happens. Guy still seems to hold P1.
Yeah, Guy holding P1 there, as just saw that momentarily. Rushovic did go up to P number 3, now to be put down to P number 4 as Joel Moffat goes up to P number 2, less than a tenth behind. Speaking of less than a tenth, by 100th of a second, Kelvin Lau goes and defrosts Guy Manperson. 1 minute 30.082, but Guy Manperson bites back. 1 minute 30.082, as Laz will go now P number 2. So silver qualifying, as those temperatures do heat up in the tyres. The cars are going to be going faster and faster. The track stays at 21 degrees, but it looks like we're going to have a nice little spicy bit of qualifying in these final 3 minutes, Trey.
Absolutely. I mean, we're seeing these guys go faster and faster. We're getting really close to the 129s. I don't know if anyone here will be able to break into those 129s, because those people who are close, specifically Manperson, who's only about 80 tenths, or like, no, 1/10 off, he's not able to improve very much. Most of the people improving are down toward the bottom of the order. Carpenter is 2/10 up on his lap time, but he's not in position for pole. Durant's is 2.5 tenths up on his current best right now as he goes through the final corner. Got a good exit there, just on the ragged edge, and he will move up to P5. So.
Yeah, not too bad there. Speaking of which, just a quick check. Do I sound alright? Twitch chat, do I sound alright? Stephanie, Trey, do I sound alright or do I sound robotic?
I think you're fine. No worries about it. You're good.
Absolutely.
That's my bad. I forgot to check earlier because I had internet things going on with D6. So as Fire Queso goes up to P number 3, just wanted to get those checks in. We should have done that earlier. Please don't Please don't yell at me, Twitch chat, even if I do sound robotic sometimes. I'm running on mobile data. As John Crown goes around in P number 14, goes round turn number 14, now down in P15, as I believe that was a slight improvement, possibly up near the top, goes across line for Crown. He will go to P number 9, being at 0.450 behind the leader. One thing to point out, less than a second separating the top 18 here in silver, 0.970. Only Archie down in P number 19, 1.365 off. That's the other person who is a second slower. Looks like it's going to be, but that may of course become even bigger when the gold drivers do eventually come out on track in 1 minute 10 seconds. As right now it is still Guy Manperson out on track. Into the pit lane does go Laz, less than a tenth behind. Guy Manperson looks like he's got pole position for silver at least locked in, Stephanie.
He does. For a hot minute there, it looked like he was up on his time quite a bit, but maybe went into a corner a bit too fast because he lost it all. But seems to be consistent, so that'll be interesting for the race itself as he invalidates the lap there. We'll take a look at Ilpo here.
Yeah, as we go over to Ilpo, just before silver qualifying does come to an end here, I want to go over to you, Trey. Of course, we were at Alton Park last week. Valencia, a very different type of circuit. How do we think that's going to affect the drivers, not only here in qualifying, but eventually when we get into the race as well?
So for qualifying, I don't expect it to change that much about the drivers. While these are very different tracks, a lot of the same, it's still racing, it's still hot lapping, so I assume that most of this is going to be the same. You might see variations because of different cars having different strengths, but I think the qualifying will go roughly the same as Alton Park did. But the race is going to be very different because you expect a lot more overtakes. Like with our pit straight here, there's nothing like that at Alton Park. I don't know the exact numbers, but I think the pit straight is maybe a quarter of the track, or at least that's what it looks like. And there's definitely no straights like that at Alton Park. And so I expect a lot more overtaking here. So those people who maybe don't have quite as good of a qualifying session here will have a chance to improve a lot more than they did last week.
Yeah, most definitely. And now looking at this actually, which is going to be the big one here, is of course gold drivers now do come out onto the circuit. The key people who we are going to be watching is Travis Nordstrom, Jeff Spangler and Andrew Rados. That's the championship battle going into this round. Of course, Andrew's going to have to do a lot more work, but the battle between Travis Nordstrom and Jeff Spangler looking to be the one here in the finale. Gotta love a battle going into work please. Gotta love a battle going into the final race of the season, guys.
Oh, definitely. And one thing to note, I was looking over our pit exit rules. Anybody familiar with driving Valencia, you know that turn coming out of the pit, you can really swing wide and pick up a lot of speed with that swing. We are implementing a 5-second penalty for anyone who takes all their tires beyond the green on the pit exit, even though the game will give you a no time gained on it. So anyone who exits the pit, goes past that green that we see there with all 4 tires, will be getting a penalty. But I thought that was interesting to note with their pit rules for tonight.
Thank you very much. As Jeff Spangler right now goes down into Aspar, then we'll go through into Pons. Onto the brakes, into the right-hander. Rear end might slip out there momentarily. Track stays at 21 degrees. It is heavy. It is actually a headwind going down into Bertan Martinez, followed by Champion Helos. But of course, like you said earlier, like I said earlier, Trey, this is basically a back straight through turn number 7 of Champion Hairless, basically flat out, then into Ferrari, which is the long left-hander, which is kind of like hairpin, through the left kink, through the right kink, then down into Telol. Then, of course, you got Adrian Campos through turn, then down towards turn number 12 of Angel Nieto, number 2, and then into the right-hander, through the long left-hander at turn number 13. You're going to be picking up all your speed out here. Your car is going to be moving onto the right-hand side as much as it can, the natural movement of the cars, then into Champy, and then onto the main straight. As for the first time here, it's Jeff Spangler, pedal to the metal, foot to the floor. He will go to the line here in gold qualifying, and he will only go P number 9. And it is going to be actually Travis Nordstrom, the man he has to beat tonight, who will go up to P number 7, 0.233 behind Guyman Person right now. But Trey, we're definitely going to see a lot faster times from these guys, as those tyres are definitely not up to temperature yet.
Absolutely. You know, we saw last week with Alton Park where, kind of like what we're seeing here, where a lot of the gold drivers were just kind of toward the bottom of the pack. But those gold drivers have only had one lap. You know, you don't want to spend all of your skill on your first lap, because your first lap will almost certainly never be your best lap, as we see Menning going up to P6. So, you know, those gold drivers will filter their way back up through the pack as they get more laps down. I think we have enough time for probably 4 more laps per driver, I think, about that, before we finish off this qualifying session. So I do expect people to improve a lot. Nordstrom is up 2.5 tenths, now 3 tenths on his current best, and that would be good for pole if he can hold it. But Rados is also 2.5 tenths up on his current best. So we have a lot of good battles.
Yep, Stephanie?
Oh, that's just interesting. We always like to watch Michael Menning when he shows up on track, because he's just a fast boy. He's a fast boy among the fast boys. But I thought it was interesting. He went into pits, but he is going back out for another round. So we'll see how that also will kind of configure into the race. He hasn't been here for a lot of the season, as we have some movement. Oh, Rados here. Sorry, my things are bumping around a bit. So anyway, see how that plays out, if that affects the standings at the end of this. As
Omar Escorcia, P number 2.
Yep.
That 0.035 seeming to be liked by a lot of drivers this evening. Oh my god, that's like the 4th time somebody's done that. One thing I am going to point out here in qualifying
Mr.
real
Sir
quick
takes pole. Sorry to interrupt you. So our first gold driver has taken the pole position. To take pole.
Yeah, it's got to be a lot harder to follow most likely, but one thing I am going to point out here real quick, just looking over these championship standings, going into this round, Pillars Horse Racing look like the most likely have it in the bag for the win. However, Madhouse Racing, the McLarens, and as well as FRT Noba, I'm just going to say Nubaros, they are tied. So Madhouse Racing, the McLarens, and Visceral is currently tied in P number 2 and 3 on 869 points. So between those two teams, whoever has the better showing tonight will come out on top with that one. Looks like Pillar Source Racing might have it in the bag with their Ford Mustangs, unless something else happens. But Jeff Spangler right now needs to hope for a really good qualifying right now, as Codromo will come to the line to get a brand new lap time on the board. He will go P number 8, 0.190 behind Jeff Spangler. Speaking of Jeff Spangler, he's currently sat P number 2, 0.30 behind Omar Escorcia. That puts Jeff Spangler down to P number 3 as Omar goes to the top, 1 minute 29.910. As Andrew Rados goes P number 4 in his Honda, 1 minute 0.145 behind. What do you think of that, Trey?
I think we're going to see a pretty good battle. One thing I will note, Madhouse Racing, while they are about 20 points behind the Pillars Horse Racing, both Kevin Lau and Jeff Spangler are fighting for not only their the team standings win, but also their individual standings win, as I believe they are both fighting for position 1 in for Jeff Spangler gold and for Kevin Lau in silver. And so they are definitely going to be fighting hard for whatever positions they can get today. So I do expect they have I'm not going to say they have a better shot of getting it than Pillar's Horse Racing, since Pillar's Horse obviously has that 20-point lead on them. But I do think they have a really good shot of taking this.
Yeah, well, that's what it may all come down to, as Andrew Rados right now is, of course, he's sat P number 3. He needs to finish P1 and the bonus point with Nordstrom P number 2 or lower and Spangler P3 or lower to be able to pick up that win in the Division 1 gold standings. So, and it's not out of play for Andrew, and a good qualifying definitely could set him up. As 2 minutes remain on the clock, he will go around turn number 14 and he will go to the line. He will go across. Where will he go? He stays P number 3, 0.272 behind, as we see a good old Ford Mustang over on the right hand side. Reset to pit lane as Koa Jeroma right now for Pillars Racing. The number 59 currently sat P number 9. Last lap time was a 1 minute 32.45. His best lap time 1 minute 31.45. As Koa Jeroma currently sat P number 10, as that was an improvement for Jeff Spangler. That will put him up into P number 4, 0.280 off the pole lap time. So definitely starting to spice up as Jeff Spangler trying to do everything he can to get a good footing into the race for that championship fight.
Yeah, and Jeff Spangler's almost 3/10 up on his personal best, and that would make him our pole sitter, assuming he can hang on through these last 2 corners.
Well, back to the team championship standings, I think it's important not to discount Visceral, who is the exact same points as Madhouse and Omar
Sorry,
Escorcia.
Stephanie, I'm going to interrupt. Sorry, Stephanie, I'm going to interrupt you right there, as Jeff Spangler does go to pole. Sorry I interrupted you there, but we're in the final minute of qualifying, so kind of need to... Yes. Sorry,
well,
Stephanie.
Escorcia and Barrera are both P2 and 3 in the poll, and they are both the Visceral FRT Ford Mustangs who is currently also vying for the team championship standings. Their points are the same as Madhouse and may actually stand a better chance of taking it away from Pillars than Madhouse would at this point, looking at the current grid.
Yeah, as right now, the number 18 going down into turn number 12 right now. The checkered flag will now fall here in qualifying, as down through turn number 13 as Koa Dromo will be on the visual there momentarily. Number 18, I'm looking on the left-hand side, trying to figure out where the heck they're at. That is Michael Menning. Down into the final corner, as you look on the mini-map, he will go onto the throttle as quickly as possible. Where will Michael Menning go? Is he going to pull it into the pit lane? His button does go blue. He will pull in. So that is going to be the end of Michael Menning's qualifying. We will stick on board with Koa Dromo, 0.352 behind just Spangler in the pits. Omar Escorcia in the pits. Barrera in the pits. Andrew Rados has it in his hands right now, as well as Dan Cran, everybody's favourite admin. Going to be going through into the right-hander, down into turn number 11, then it down towards turn number 12 one more time. Where can everything stack up here this evening? Omar Escorcia currently sat P number 2. Andrew Rados looking for an improvement, actually. What will it all line up after qualifying? Travis Nordstrom only down in P number 10 at the end of qualifying. That's going to give Jeff Spangler a major opportunity and give him a good footing if he can keep his place on pole position. Dan Cran may look to dethrone him, though, as we go to the line. Dan Cran will go across, and he will only go P number 13, and that will be the end of qualifying. And without a doubt, it doesn't show up on the left-hand side fully, but it is going to be Jeff Spangler on pole with Travis Nordstrom down in P number 10. Andrew Rados P number 4. So Travis Nordstrom got a lot of work ahead of him, and we'll be right back after a quick...
A huge thank you to our SRA sponsors and title sponsors for supporting us here at SRA, as well as support from Documise, a modern business solution for product management. Go to documise.com to learn more today. And support from Retro Saga, a North American-based gaming company that provides accessories for your favourite classic systems, including Nintendo, Sega, PlayStation, and much more. Enhance your retro gaming experience today at retrosaga.ca. And a big thank you to our affiliates, Track Racer. Experience redefined gaming with Track Racer's high-quality sim rigs and accessories. Use code SRATE at checkout to support us. Armamentario, a toolbox for ACC that will enhance your chance to win. Enjoy a fully customizable and enhanced HUD to change the way you experience ACC. AT3D Sim Shop. Upgrade your sim racing experience today with premium 3D printed accessories featuring precision crafted magnetic shifters, sleek cable management solutions, versatile stream deck mounts, and immersive dashboard displays. Their innovative designs enhance performance and style, elevate every lap with top tier quality and craftsmanship at at3d.net. Go Setups, premium esports setups for everybody. Use our affiliate link on our Discord and take your drive to the next level. Castle and Cauldron, a home-based crafting business specialising in handmade Harry Potter, Fantastic Beasts and Fairy World collectibles. Magic wands, potions, mini dioramas, wall decor, costumery, cosplay and much more. Castle and Cauldron is where crafting meets the magical. Visit facebook.com/Castle Cauldron. And from KP Concepts, your source for custom automotive renderings, graphic design, and printing. We spend countless hours making you look all good for the spectacle. Check out kpconcepts.com for more.
Hello, back to our grid, and it's looking like it's pretty dark out there. Just about to start the formation lap we've got going on here, but we'll start our grid walk while we're at it. Jeff Spangler in P1 and Omar S. Garcia here is P2 as he gets going. Estefano Barrera, P3. Andrew Rados is in P4. Coadroma, P5. Mr. Sir, P6. Guy Manperson is here, and he is in P7, with Michael Menning next to him in his Lexus in P8. Then we've got John Laz in P9 and Travis Nordstrom in P10. And I'm going to let Trey here take us through the rest.
All right, so for our other 27 drivers, we have Wilson in P11, Dunham in P12, Cran in P13, Queso in P14, Kevin Lau in P15, Rusevich in P16, A. Wilson in P17, Mercer in P18, Durance in P19, Moffat in P20, Flaminger in P21, Broxclair in P22, Marecki in P23, Kish in P24, Diaz in P25, O'Brien in P26, Chan in P27, Brown in P28, Majid, I think, in P29, Carpenter in P30, Rust in P31, Simmons in P32, Louis in P33, Salazar in P34, Rutsalainen in P35, Archie in P36, and Fimbres Casas in P37.
That one's Diego. I just say Diego, so I don't get it wrong.
Okay, Diego. There we go.
Diego.
So
It's easy.
I apologize for butchering anyone's names.
No worries about it. I'm sure they'll handle it. And it looks like they are lining up side by side as they get ready to approach the start of this race.
Yep.
Great.
We're
Most
going down through. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
definitely. Ladies and gentlemen, it's been one hell of a ride this season. 13 may be unlucky for some, but tonight it may be lucky for one other. Jeff Spangler with an amazing start after qualifying here on pole position. Travis Nordstrom is further down the order in P number 8. I get to say this one last time this season, and I've said it from season 11 all the way through to now, as they will look for one last time this season over the right hand side and wait for that. God damn it! No, 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 no!
Well, I do believe we are experiencing technical difficulties.
I think so
with
too.
Alexa. That was unfortunate. We got right there. Hopefully he's able to come back. But
Damn
anyway.
it!
Oh,
There we go.
is he back?
Yeah, that's all right. We will take over until Alexa can get sorted out here. It has been so far a relatively clean looking start. Maybe as we go around the next turn here, our front runners have filed in by the looks of things.
Yep, we got a good lap 1. No crashes, no one off track, no spins. And we are back down the main pit straight. Jeff Spangler has kept his lead. Escorzia has kept P2, Barrera P3. Koodromo has gotten up to P4. Rados stayed P6. Nordstrom has gotten up 2 positions from P10 to P8, but he will have a fight ahead of him. We have side-by-side action going through the almost here, or turn 2. A lot of good side-by-side action so far, but very clean action.
Yep,
As they go down between 4 and 5.
Everywhere I've got people, switching positions back and forth. So it's been a nice start for these guys for this dark race.
Yeah, we'll have to see how this darkness affects the racing. I honestly forgot that this was a night race until we lined up on the pit straight for our formation lap. So it will be interesting to see how it goes.
Now we do have Salazar in the pit, so it may have been that we did have something in the back we missed as far as an incident goes. Diego in the back with Michael, Louis, so there may have been a little bit of unpleasantness for some of these guys at the start, but otherwise for the vast majority it seems to be pretty clean.
Of course it had to happen there, didn't it?
Yep, you cut out, unfortunately.
Yeah,
quite a bit.
Internet things as right now, I'm going to let Trey speak on this battle because I want to do my thing, but I'll let Trey deal with this real quick.
That's fine.
All right. So we see, I believe that's Kevin Lau leading a slight train through turn 1 here. We do have side-by-side action. I believe that's Mercer who was putting pressure ahead, but he did not take a dive. We almost have some contact there. Too wide there through turn 2 onto turn 3. We'll have to see how they keep side by side. It's looking like, I believe that's Troxclair was having issues getting through that corner. It's hard to tell who's who when you can't see liveries anymore.
Yeah. Yep. So you've got Troxclair and Wilson here battling through here. So the mid pack has been quite eventful. As we go in here, we have Fazli Majid and Peter O'Brien going in side by side. Fazli has the inside line and cuts O'Brien off. Fazli, also known as the wall around here, is not the easiest guy to pass. Although he is driving that Honda, which can behave pretty unpredictably from the expletives I often hear coming from his corner of the room. But,
yeah, well, it may get awkward sometimes, but it's still one hell of a fight. And I'm going to do this real quick, seems as we're going down the main straight, and I didn't get to do it because my goddamn internet was being awkward, but I still want to get the clip. As they will look to the right-hand side for that green flag as it is boogity, boogity, boogity. Let's go racing for one last time here in Season 13 as the green flag drops and away we go. And right now it is going to be Timothy Flomgar. Got it in. Let's go. As we go down into turn number 1, he is going to be on the outside looking to get past Max Simmons for P number 28, but he's going to slot in behind. Goes through down towards turn number 2 of Michelin. Looks for a move down the inside, but the trusty Audi right in front of him is going to have absolutely none of it. Nah. and we are going to continue on. Timothy Flomger is going to stay P number 29 for the time being. Baylor Kish and Salazar seeming to stay in the pit lane right there as Kelvin Lau currently on a defensive move, it seems, as I believe he is the purple car. Like Trey said, it is kind of hard to tell when it gets to night time. Right now, though, he is going to stay ahead. He's now past Rushovic in P number 30, up into P number 14 is Rushovic is going to be now down into P number 15. Jeremy Mercer is going to be stuck right behind him as well as Michael Menning now up into P number 4. One thing to point out, going to be looking for Travis Nordstrom. Where has he gotten up to? He is up into P number 7 right now. Jeff Spangler is also going to have to hope for the best, as right now it seems like there is a car going a little bit slower, maybe due to an incident. Unfortunately, did not catch
that one
as
out.
Those bright lights do tend to be blinding. Right now, though, Carpenter still on an offensive move as Simmons got to be sat behind as the Lamborghini of Diego going to be coolly chasing down Michael Louis. And then for the rest of the grid order, it seems like it's been a pretty nice restart. As you can see on the mini-map, only about 4 or 5 cars out of the whole pack tray.
Yeah, it was fairly clean, as right now we are looking at Mercer in a fairly large battle from around P18 or so all the way up to P12. There's a lot of cars in the same pack, and as we can see some door banging there to get, I believe it's Wilson out of the way. Yes, Wilson, as Lau makes a good opportunistic pass there as after Wilson went wide. It looks like we just had someone reset to the pit lane. I don't know who that was. That was Salazar.
Yeah, Salazar went to the pit very early and has not returned.
Yeah, so
right now,
unfortunate.
Gomo Wilson losing out there momentarily to Jeremy Mercer, as it seems like they're going to be playing a little bit of cat and mouse here, heading through turn number 11 down towards turn number 12. Michael Menning, speedy boy, trying to get his way up the field, as right now Jeff Spangler does also have that speed. Here comes Koadromo though on Andrew Rados, a little bit of door banging, having a little bit of chitty bang bang playing in the background as you head down the main straight. Koadromo versus Andrew Rados. Andrew Rados is locked in that championship fight. He needs P1 and that bonus point. And with the other two drivers having a pretty bad race, to say otherwise. It's 18-degree track temperature, 18-degree ambient, 4km/h wind, and it looks like it's going to be nice and tidy there for the time being, as Koadromo is going to be sat right there now up in P number 5. He's got past Andrew Rados, who is now locked in a battle with Travis Nordstrom. Ends up going off. He needs P number 1 to have that. He doesn't need P number 1. But Jeff Spangler needs him to finish P4 or lower to be in that championship winning place. And with that collision, that may be it locked and done. Pit stops will be the key factor to come into play as well later on in this race. But what on earth happened there? That could be Travis Nordstrom's championship's hopes out the window. And was it by fault of his own? It's hard to tell in this dark Spanish night. But what are your thoughts on that, Stephanie?
You know, we kind of flicked over there and all of a sudden it happened. I'm going to give some apologies to Travis if it was any kind of commentator's curse, had anything to play in there. But I really didn't catch it fast enough to be able to say whose error that would have been. It's very unfortunate for Travis, and hopefully I kind of hope he can claw his way back up. It's not the way that I think Jeff wants to get his points. He wants to get them fair and square. Nobody wants to win because somebody else got hit, and now Travis goes into the pits.
Yeah, that is going to be a pit stop for Travis Nordstrom, most likely picking up damage after that collision. It's going to be an early pit stop. His tyres are going to be screaming out at the end of this race. Jeff Spangler has this all in his hands right now. Right now, though, Gomo Wilson currently locked in a battle with, I believe, Laz, as we head through the left-hander at turn number 3 into turn number 4. Quickly now towards 4 and 5, as it is a four-way battle as we move over to Fire Queso. That is a big collision. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, almost 9. Luckily enough, only 5 cars getting caught up in that. Fire Queso resets to the pit lane. 5 cars had contact, almost made it 9 though. 4 drivers, luckily enough, taking evasive action as Stephanie, with that very good camera play, switching over to that battle just a millisecond before that collision happened. And that is just going to be very, very unfortunate. So it seems like people may be getting a little bit on edge now, getting a little bit fed up being stuck behind the cars in front of them, and that can definitely lead to what we've just seen with these incidents, Trey.
Yeah, both the night combined with the track being just that much better for overtaking means that these drivers are going to be a lot more aggressive just because basically they're able to. And we've seen the consequences of that. Nordstrom getting a little bit aggressive against Rados is what I caught. I was on a different camera from you guys. And then that crash that we just saw there that took out a good chunk of the field. Now, obviously, they will be able to continue to race, but with these early incidents, you do wonder if some of these drivers are going to be peeling back that aggression that we've seen at the start of this race.
I think they are based on, I'm looking at your spreads of times. Everybody has sort of like, in that chunk we saw in the middle, it's all kind of spread out. And I have to give some credit to being able to hear what's going on behind me. So I knew that Bosley and Fire were fighting at that point, and it was getting a little bit dicey. So I knew to swap over. So a little bit
Perks of Stephanie Fisher's camera work. We don't need to talk about what's going on in the background. Stephanie is a great camera person. She's also a great commentator. It was all Stephanie. As right now we are going to continue watching on this battle as it's a three-way fight. Rear end slips out there momentarily for Anton as well, as it is going to be a lovely little battle through the right-hander at turn number 12 into turn number 13. Like Trey said earlier, cars genuinely move onto the right-hand side of the circuit here. Down into turn number 14 is the dive bomb moment when it comes down to it, but you got to make sure you're nice and close, otherwise you're causing a collision and it's just going to make one thing after another. As Michael Menning actually into the pit lane, was he caught up in a collision in that race? As you see him on the right hand side there, 3 drivers in the pit lane. One of those is Salazar. He is out of this race. It looks like he's done for the night, and he's just sticking in the pit lane. You can run it pretty wide there on the track. Luckily enough, down into the braking zone one more time as we look through the windshield. You can never not love these camera angles which ACC provides. Hopefully we get to keep them going into ACC Evo, which of course early access now. Be interested to see if we get any of that with SRA in the future. But of course we've got season 14 coming up. We'll talk more about that at the end of this race. As right now going into the left-hander one more time, you can see Anton right there all over the back of Laz, continuing to go on as Stefan's design actually on the rear wing of that trusty McLaren 720 TS Evo, down into the braking zone, into the left-hander. It's definitely going to be an interesting one, Stephanie.
Yeah, the whole race is an interesting one and continues to be. I do want to take this moment, while there's not too much going on, to give a quick shout out to Anton's girlfriend and his dad. He said last week in the interview, I know his girlfriend is always in the chat showing support, and I found out last week that his dad usually watches, so I thought it'd be nice to give them a little shout out. Thanks for joining us every week and supporting your favorite driver.
Indeed, and if you have got any driver who you are in fact watching, feel free to drop it in the Twitch chat. We'd love to know who you are supporting here tonight, as it does look like Laz and Anton now pulling away from Jerry Mercer as the rear end slips out there for Anton. That's going to give Jerry Mercer the absolute perfect opportunity to slide down the inside. Going down into turn number 2 right now, it's going to be Jerry Mercer versus Anton down the inside. Lovely little move right there. Mistake played by Anton, and that is going to be Jeremy Mercer up into P number 11. Did we just curse him, Stephanie?
I hope not. He's been pretty immune to the curse, although not entirely. Mr. Spangler in the front seems to always wear an extra layer of tinfoil when he's racing, because I can't seem to make him even bump or wiggle with this. Speaking of which,
yeah,
we can give him a little... Give him a little visual as he catches up with the 2 folks in the back. So, 45 minutes left in the race. He's already catching the back of the pack here.
Yeah, 2.5 second gap right now, and Jeff Spangler still in with the fastest lap. Is then Omar S. Garcia, followed by Koadromo, Andrew Rados, Mr. Sir, Guy Manperson, Colin Dunham, Dan Crank, Calvin Lau, and Alaz rounds out the top 10. It's then Mercer, Rushevic, Wilson, Troxclair, Peter O'Brien, Diaz, Moffat, Crown, Wilson, and Simmons round out the top 10. Trey, we are now 1/4 through this race. How do we think these final 3 quarters are going to go from what we've seen so far?
I expect the aggression to get ramped up again toward the back, probably toward the back half of it. Most of these drivers are probably going to be a little bit cautious, like I said before, with those early crashes. However, we are seeing the pack kind of reconglomerating. We see in P12 Troxclair's leading a 4-car pack, all within about a half second of each other. So I do expect us to see more contact at some point. I'm just not sure how soon that will be.
Yeah, speaking of contact at some point, of course, you've got a different feed to what me and Stephanie have, but we just saw on a lovely little replay right there, Gomo Wilson giving a little bit of a love tap and a spinneroonie to Anton down into turn number 2. So it is getting a little bit argy-bargy out there on track. Jeremy Mercer, though, still trying to make his way through the field, currently sat in P number 11, trying to chase it down Laz for P number 10 right now, as Omar S. Garcia and Mr. Sir will call their shot and pull into the pit lane. Jeff Spangler doing everything he needs to right now to have that championship in his hands. But of course, Travis Nordstrom, where is he at? In fact, can we get a visual on
29, and he took the fastest lap.
Yeah, well, this is one thing to point out as well. He has made his pit stop.
Yep.
Travis Nordstrom has made his pit stop for this race. As you can see, Michael Menning, Estefano Barrera, Travis Nordstrom, and etc. making their pit stops already. Their tires are going to be a lot more harder to control and keep right going into those final few sections, as Omar S. Garcia and Mr. Sir still in the pit lane making their pit stops. But these early pit stops, that's going to be an interesting one towards the end of the race, and time can be made up. Jeff Spangler, of course, having the fastest lap taken away from him. When we get to these pit stops and these pit times, it's definitely going to be an interesting one, as Jeremy Mercer all over the back of Laz right now, Trey.
Absolutely. You can see Laz going through these corners with a little bit of a loose rear end. I don't think that his tire's going away so quickly right now, but it could be with some of these drivers pitting early. One thing to note with these early pit stops, last week we saw people pitting early because there was no other way to overtake. This week we do have a lot better overtaking opportunities, as we see Mercer try a little bit of an outside lunge there on Laz. Didn't work out for him, but you know, he's putting on that pressure. With this track, I would expect more of an equal stint timer, so like around a half-hour first stint, around a half-hour second stint, because at this track you're able to battle basically whoever you want as long as you're on roughly equal tires. And so if you have better tires toward the end of this race, I expect that those people who pit later to have much better overtaking opportunities than they might have if they'd done so last week.
Yeah, most definitely, as of course we're watching Colin Dunham right now on the feed. He's trying to chase down Dan Cran to get up into that top 5 as we do continue on here. One thing I do want to point out, this would make it so there's 2 silver drivers up in the top 5. Of course, it's a nice little spread as well. The top 5, all different cars. It's a McLaren, followed by a Ford Mustang, followed by a Honda, then Beamer, then Nissan, then actually a Ferrari. So top 6, all totally different cars. A nice little mix here this evening. It's 10:24 p.m. in-game time. Let's be honest, I think most of us forgot that this was going to be a night race. So that's kind of a bad bit on our part. But luckily enough, with the way that all the drivers are right next to each other, you can see these liveries very, very nicely. And of course, like I said, liveries and everything, we'll talk a bit more on season 14 at the end of the stream. Right now though, Peter O'Brien currently, you can see him in the background there as we do watch Anton still trying to get past Gomo Wilson, who gave him that love tap in turn 2 earlier on in this race. Could that result in a penalty post-race? We'll have to wait and see. But down onto the main straight is going to be an interesting one, as John Archie seeming to try and chase down the trying to chase down the car in front of him, but a little bit unfortunate. You can also see a trusty Porsche on the map right there. As actually the Porsche is ahead, my bad, as it looks like Louis has actually got past Archie from what it seems he is down in P number 23, so that's my bad. And right now, a few more pit stops. Diego into the pits, and Wilson into the pits, and both Wilsons into the pits, actually. So a little bit of an interesting one. That's going to give Timothy Flamger an opportunity to come back up, as Brandon Chan is still trying to chase down John Archie as well. It is currently those pit stops, of course, making up more time here. 39 minutes, 9 seconds remain on the clock, Stephanie.
On. You know, as Trey had pointed out, you know, you might want fresher tires toward the end of the race to make more moves, but I mean, I'm seeing a lot of people going into the pits earlier, whether it's to get some clear air or some repairs. Now, we did lose a couple people who have dropped out of the race completely, either due to incidents that took out their race or regular mechanical failures. I'm not entirely sure.
I mean, that is a key factor when it does come down to it. If you do get into incidents, there's one thing you've also got to think about. Do you continue going, or is that it for your race? Most of the time, people would say just keep on going, especially in a season finale just like this. Is Victor Diaz currently sat P number 10 for Cola Hooligans 19 in the number 19, P number 10 currently. Peter O'Brien right in front of him, it does seem, as it is going to be Kelvin Lau into the pit lane, as well as Jerry Mercer and Jared Troxclair. Guyman Person currently sat P number 4 currently, as it is still Jeff Spangler leading, headed into the left-hander of turn number 7. And down into turn number 8, then 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. You get it, so on and so forth. But right now, it is going to be Victor Diaz also still trying to chase down Peter O'Brien, who's right in front of him. Quite a lot of silver drivers high up in the grid order right now, Trey.
Yeah, and I think you would sort of expect to see that with some of these pit stops going on, as we see Kevin Lau has a stop-go 30-second penalty for likely a pit lane infringement, and that's not what you want to see. Probably just a little bit of speeding into the pit lane, unfortunately. But yeah, I'm surprised at the difference in strategy. Most of our gold drivers, with the exception of Spangler, Rados, Cran, and, well, I would say Koodromo, but he's now going into the pits. Most of them have hits, whereas most of the silver drivers, I think, haven't pitted.
Yep.
Yeah,
Although,
I think the only... Go ahead, sorry.
Oh, I was going to note, Calvin is currently P1 for the silver championship. With Ilpo behind him, but with that stop go 30, I don't know what Ilpo needs to take that from him.
Ilpo needs Lau to finish P6 or lower, and Ilpo needs to finish P1.
Now, is it full P1 or just P1 for silver? I'm not sure. I
believe it's full P1.
Okay.
I could be wrong on that, but that is
that's
what I think.
I think so too, but I don't.
We need
if somebody would like to correct us, if somebody would like to correct us, feel free. But we're just going off our incentives of what we have right here. As right now we're just watching Victor Diaz sat in the pit lane as we do continue on. Max Simmons also still trying to chase down Timothy Flamger right now, as it does continue going on through the little squiggly bits here at Valencia. As right now through the right-hander, as Jeff Spangler, the leader of the race, now comes into the pit lane. Key factor here, where is Travis Nordstrom going to be compared to him? Travis Nordstrom continuing on in this race, and it is going to be a little battle as John Lars is going to have a little bit of a moment there. Is that going to hold up Travis Nordstrom? Or it looks like Travis Nordstrom will get through nice and tidy. I believe he's actually further ahead. It's hard to tell in the dark.
Yeah, it is.
If you can't tell, I probably need to eat some more carrots, which, eat your vegetables, kids, they're good for you. As right now, P number 21, Travis Nordstrom is currently is currently fastest lap as well. If we get a visual on him, that will be interesting to see where he does come out against Jeff Spangler. Jeff Spangler, of course, nice and easy to spot here in the night, as he's got a big old bright green back to his car. So there, Jeff Spangler currently going to be coming out of the pit lane at turn number 1. Travis Nordstrom coming down the main straight right now. Quick reminder for you, Travis Nordstrom only needs to finish P3 or better to win the championship, where Jeff Spangler needs P1 with Nordstrom finishing P4 or lower. Andrew Rados needs to finish P number 1 with the bonus point with Nordstrom P6 or lower, and of course he needs Spangler to finish, and he needs Spangler to finish P3 or lower. So that's going to be the interesting one. Andrew Rados could be a big old dark horse here this evening. Jeff Spangler down in P number 13, while Travis Nordstrom P number 19, Trey.
Yeah, so we see Rados is into the pits, so this will probably be the key to seeing where this championship rides out. We saw that Spangler is roughly half of that main pit straight away from Travis Nordstrom, or at least he was. I don't know if he's caught up or not, but Rados being into the pits and probably being close to leaving the pits now at this point, we will have to see where he comes out at the front, or near the front anyways.
Yep. Gonna definitely keep an eye on when his little pit symbol goes away and he starts rolling out.
Yeah, that is a key factor here, these pit stops being a major player when it comes to circuits. No matter what track you go to, your pit stops are always going to be a key one, as we're at that point where the bunch pit stops are being made now. Andrew Rados, Guyman Person, Anton, Crown, Carpenter, Chan, all of those drivers into the pit lane, meaning that we will now, if I'm correct, only have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We'll only have 6 drivers now yet to make their pit stops. Of course, that's going to be the top 6 of Dan Cran, Colin Dunham, Timothy Flanger, Simmons, Louis, Archie, and that is going to be it. So only the top 6 now yet to pit. We are 17 laps into this race, and right now it is going to be, as actually one thing to point out, Andrew Rados ahead of Travis Nordstrom.
That he is, but more crucially for his
updated.
Yep. So yeah, but more crucially for his championship hopes, Rados is about 8 seconds behind Spangler, which is 1, 2, 3, around 7 positions. So he has a lot of climbing to do if he wants to try and get that championship win. It's not looking good for him at this point. Neither him or Nordstrom, because Rados is definitely going to be fighting Nordstrom hard.
Yeah, most definitely. As right now, Peter O'Brien on the back of Anton. Key thing, I'm just going to call him Anton from now on, like Stephanie just calls Diego, because we would rather not botch the last name pronunciations, and we want to be nice to the drivers. They deserve their spotlight. As right now, Gomo Wilson is going to look for a move on Baylor Kish as they head through turn number 13. I said this earlier, turn number 14, dive down the inside is the key opportunity, but of course you're on the inside, it can slow you down a little bit more. That right outside line through turn number 14 on the main straight is going to give you a whole lot more momentum, going to give you a lot more time on the throttle, and will hopefully set you up for a move around the outside at turn number 1, but that's going to be Gomo Wilson who will get the move done on Jared Troxclair.
That will happen.
They will make contact, and we will get a replay on this. It is going to be Troxclair and Gomo Wilson. Anton got a front row seat to that. We'll get an aerial shot as well, heading down into turn number 1 on the brakes, goes to the inside, maybe not expecting him to be there, and that's going to send both of them off at turn number 1, Trey. And that's going to send both of them off at turn number 1, Trey.
Yeah, that was unfortunate to see. It looked like the guy in front may have checked up a little bit more than the chasing driver expected to. It looked like he was going to miss the apex, and so tried to brake a little bit harder just to make sure he didn't go off the track limits, but that's really unfortunate, and I'm not sure where you would place blame. Of course, that's not our job, but...
Nope. Probably the car behind in that particular incident, as they didn't exactly have overlap for him to be able to, do whatever he wanted. So yeah, as far as the Travis trying to get up there to keep Jeff away from the championship, he's gonna have a tough battle, even if he can make it up, because he's got Michael Menning in there, who just likes to come in here and shake things up. Then you've got Escorcia and Barrera together in P3 and P4. They're looking to get as many points as they can so that they have some hope of taking that team championship together. Coadromo and Mr. Sir, both not the easiest to get past, both really fast. And then Anton Rados, who, you know, would like to see just where he can get on this, in this race today, what podium he can get himself. So Travis has a real tough battle ahead if he wants to get into the position he needs.
He does. He needs to climb around 7 or 8 seconds. He needs to gain 7 or 8 seconds on Jeff Spangler while overtaking 4 or 5 different people. So it's going to be a very tough challenge for him to do so. I don't want to say that it's impossible to do, because it definitely is. We've seen stranger things happen, but it is most definitely a battle. As we see Rados putting on the pressure on Mr. Sir. Lots of good pressure on him. We might get to see a good chance into turn 1, depending on how this final corner exit goes.
We might, and we will keep an eye ahead also as Coadromo is looking to break into Barrera's field of vision. He's quite close also.
Yeah,
we got
I'm
at the front.
Yeah,
Sorry, go ahead.
I'm gonna tone down my volume a little bit because I just got told off for being too loud.
Oh, okay.
I got told off by my parents. I'm 19 years old. Oh, how does this work out? Although down in P number 19 currently is going to be John Crowns. So John Crowns having a nice little time down there, 0.2 momentarily to the next driver in front, which will be John Moffat. So that's going to be a nice little interesting battle to unfold. And right now it's going to be, looks like they're going to be the drivers looking to fight as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 cars, possibly 6 or 7 soon, going to be in that battle, as well as right now going to be looking at the leaderboard as we do continue on in this race. We are past the halfway point now. Stephanie, Trey, what can we expect?
We can expect Coadroma to be trying to get past Barrera, as he is. Anthony Rados Anthony Rados, sorry. To do his best to get past Mr. Sir and get as high as he can. Those are probably the 2 biggest battles right now that I see. You've got some battling going on midfield. I think that seems to be a big theme of this race, are these midfield battles that we're seeing. Trey, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, you'd normally expect to see most of those battles be in the midfield. I know that in F1, most of your fun battles are going to be in the midfield, just because a lot of your stuff is basically just going to be some of the slower cars working their way up, and some of the faster cars working their way up, and the slower cars working their way back down. But we are seeing a lot of good battles. While we wait for some more action, if you guys are okay with it, I'm going to look at our farthest movers far. Michael Menning has moved up 7 spots into P2. So really good movement there. Troxclair, who I believe was our winner last week, if my memory isn't making fun of me, has moved up 10 spots into P13. O'Brien has moved up 11 spots into P15. And then we have a couple people at the back who've moved up 12 spots in Rutzelainen and Diego. But there are a few people who've moved a lot backwards, but not too many, and most of those I believe have been from penalties or the like. So we're seeing a lot of drivers who are able to move forward, with not too many who've had too big of issues anyways.
I'm going to apologize for lots of moving around. Rados now with Mr. Sir. Randius has gotten past Mr. Sir. So he will be taking P6. I'm not sure if there was any contact at all, as I think Mr. Sir's line looked a little bit compromised. Also, Coadroma and Barrera here. Well, that wasn't very nice, Koa. But they all kept it straight. Thank goodness.
Yeah, so looking back to the Rados overtake on Mr. Sir, it looks like he took that dive bomb that Alexa had been talking about into P14, and it worked well. And as we see Dromo, or Ko Dromo and Barrera fighting up here for P4, they're staying close together as you would expect from these battles. I'm surprised we don't see as many. I'm almost surprised that we don't see as many trains as we did last week at Alton Park, as he is right on that rear bumper.
He is. We don't. You're right. We don't have as many trains. It seems that after whoa.
Oh!
That is not what Barrera wanted to have happen.
No, Barrera took way too much curb through turn 12, and he has paid that price. He might get a little bit better exit out of this final corner here since he had a wider line, but I don't think it'll be enough because that Mustang is fast. It's almost impossible to overtake them on the straight.
Well, it's a Mustang on Mustang, though.
That's
I
true.
don't think it's going to happen. Not by the looks of things.
Not this lap.
No. So also keep an eye on his teammate up ahead who is trying to gain some time on Michael Menning. Although I haven't seen him get close enough to make a move yet. Time will tell.
Yeah, he's been close for a while, but we'll have to see when he tries to make a move.
Yeah, and I don't know if he might not be trying real hard. I really don't know what kind of positions they need to take in order to make up for that team championship, because they're both in the top 5. Maybe now that Koa took the P4 from Barrera, he might be trying a little bit harder to get past Michael to get those P2 points.
Definitely. Looking a little bit further toward the back, Ruotsalainen has just lost 2 positions to Flaminger and Diego.
No.
Yeah, I'm not sure if he had a bit of a compromised line or what, but he was in P23, he's now in P25, and has fallen back around half a second over the course of maybe a half lap. He's definitely still right on them. He's not letting them get away too fast, but it is, you never want, it's annoying to lose that many, or 2 positions back to back.
Definitely is. I'm not sure. I think it's a little late for me to go back and try to look at it again, but we'll try to keep an eye on him and see if he can make those up. Maybe he's got tire wear if he went into the pit early.
I mean, that may be one of the key factors when it does come down to it, as right now, Brandon Chan currently still trying to chase down Archie, who is going to be right in front of him. P number 29 versus P number 28. For this time being, as right now, 21 minutes, 42 seconds remain on the clock. Down in turn number 14 right now. Going to be going into the final corner. A little bit of a rear end, little bit of a rear end wobble. Going to be there for Brandon Chan, as he looks like he's going to be right there for the time being, as Dan Cran curled to round out the top 10 as well. As it is going to be Diego, currently sat P number 24, Timothy Fremberger, P number 23, and for the rest of the field, it looks like it's nice and pretty tidy. But when we don't have these headlights, you saw there momentarily just how dark this track can be.
Oh yeah, and some tracks seem to have some more lighting than others, and this is definitely one that does not. But it makes it interesting for at least the drivers, if not us also.
Yeah, we need some night vision cameras.
Night vision honestly, that would be a really good investment for race circuits. Like just some night vision cameras. That would be interesting to see, especially as right now, key factors to point out: Jeff Spangler still leading, followed by Michael Menning, Benno Morris Garcia, followed by Dromo and Barrera. Travis Nordstrom down in P number 8 right now. So everything is in the hands of Jeff Spangler as we go into these final 20 minutes. It is an optimum track surface with 18-degree ambient and 18-degree track temperature. It's a little bit cloudy, but other than that, it is clear. But we gotta love stadium circuits like this. And if you're wondering, when we go into the external shots, what those little extra bits of tarmac with lines are off the circuit, that is because this is also a MotoGP circuit. So key fact, one of the points is actually through that hairpin bit which we've just gone through. But right now it's Andrew Rados on the back of Estefano Barrera Trey.
Yeah, we've seen this battle for a while. Rados got around Mr. Sir and has been he slowly pulled in Barrera. Rados does have a faster overall lap and has been faster for the past couple laps, but he has not been able to get past him, and that's because he's chasing a Ford Mustang, and those Mustangs, as I know from personal experience, have amazing straight line speed. For most tracks, you can run a full rear wing, and you will still be faster than most other cars on the circuit. So Mr. Rados has a speed trap of around 252 kilometers an hour with, I'm not sure what rear wing he's running, but Estefano Barrera, I hope that's his first name. Anyway, yep. Good. He is running a maximum rear wing. He's not able to change his front splitter, but he is 4 kilometers an hour faster through the speed trap.
Well, damn. I should really get ACC on my laptop just so I can get this information. As right now it is going to be just Andrew Rados still chasing down Estefano Barrera as the time does continue. Right now though, Omar Escorcia does seem to be chasing down Michael Menning, unless Michael Menning's got past him. 3 Ford Mustangs in the top 5, but Omar Escorcia still on the back of Michael Menning, that trusty Lexus which he's been running this season when we've seen him. It looked like, and that, to be fair, like you were saying, straight line speed of the Ford is good, but some people can make an argument that the Lexus is even faster.
I think it would be a valid one. Yeah. Valid argument.
In the speed trap, Michael Menning in the Lexus has the fastest speed trap of 259 kilometers an hour, and no one else is above 256.
Hey.
So damn, he's 3 miles per hour faster.
Actually, no, I apologize. Flaminger has a speed trap of 257, and he's in the Mustang. But still, that's 2 kilometers slower than Michael Menning.
Trusty Lexus, good old speed freak, is what some people would say. Honestly though, can't beat some good old Japanese engineering. As speaking of Japanese engineering, we'll go to Andrew Rados. He's got, well, it looks like he was past Estefano Barrera for a moment, but it looks like Estefano Barrera has got back past him, unless the game is having a weird moment, or somebody's
having a weird moment on the game.
Yeah, because on the left-hand side it says he's in P6, but on the bottom right it says he's P5 when he's clearly P number 6. It's, oh, there we go, it's updated now. As right now, through the long left-hander at turn number 13, down towards 14, 16 minutes 30 seconds remain, and it looks like it's going to stay where it is for the time being, and it looks like this battle between Andrew Rados and the defending champion Estefano Barrera, hence why he's running the number 1, is going to be the thing that we're going to be watching for a while.
They'll be probably hopping between this and Omar Escorcia with Menning up front, unless we see anything. Well, let's look at this. We got Michael Louis and John Archie here battling, which from the top they look very much the same.
Like they're in the same team.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing.
Hold up, let's go to Archie a sec, because I can see the teams on the bottom right. No, they're not.
Be in the same conglomerate, so that they have the same roof, and that's all we can see.
Maybe, because from the top, it does look like... No, I think they've got the same livery.
Yeah, I'm seeing from the comments that they are in the same conglomerate, so that would explain that.
Okay, thank you very much, Twitch chat.
And I would have almost thought that possibly they were like on different laps, but I know from my timings that these two cars are on the same lap and they're right up against each other. So with Brandon Chan back there looking to like stick his nose in when he can. So hopping back up to Rados to see if he can get past Estefano Barrera this time.
Well, maybe. We are now in the final quarter of this race. It's 10:50 p.m. in-game time. It is, of course, let's have a look right now. 10:50 p.m. in-game time. It is 3:26 a.m. UK time, and if I do my maths correctly, that is brain work. If I do my maths correctly, that is 10:26 Eastern time.
That would be correct.
Nailed it.
Yep.
So yay! I got clock times correct. Let's go.
Yeah. So we're seeing Esteban Barrera here being a little bit squirrely through these corners. He keeps going wide. Ooh. Very close through that corner.
Yep.
Yeah. So I would almost expect him to have a moment here soon. He's had pressure put on him for a long time. If I remember correctly, he pitted fairly early compared to some of these other guys. So, and especially with the Mustang, that car eats rear tires for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. So, yeah, we can see him get a little bit sideways there. So he might make a mistake here soon. It's not likely, but it's certainly possible.
Well, it seemed like Rados is positioning himself in these, going into these turns for him to make a possible error.
Yeah, it looks like to me, it looks like Barrera is setting up the car, trying to entice him to make an overtake. But Rados seems to be hanging fire right now. Honestly, mind games can be a key factor. If you're in front and you're basically leaving a gap open saying, hey, come on, have a little try, that can make a driver think, what's going on here? This is weird. And it can mess with the driver behind a little bit. So maybe that's what Estefano Barrera is doing right now, playing mind games, which, to be honest, I would not be surprised considering he is the reigning champion, and a lot of champions tend to do that.
Although I think that Barrera is the one having games played on him right now, as Rados is behind, poking his nose left and right, hoping to.
Ooh, look here.
Hoping.
He has overlap.
And I don't know that that's going to make it, as Barrera takes it back with an over-under.
That was a very nice switchback that Barrera performed in order to keep that position. He just let Rados go very deep into that corner.
Yeah, that was very enticing indeed when it did come down to it. However, it looks like they're going to stay where they are for the time being, and with 11 minutes 50 seconds left on the clock, Jeff Spangler has the championship in his hands, as Travis Nordstrom is only down in P number 8. So Travis Nordstrom needs to pick up 5 more positions in this race, as Andrew Rados right now currently trying to make his way through, and he's going to stay in P number 6 for the time being, it seems, as actually he will make a mistake. He will run wide, and that is going to be very, very unfortunate, as it looks like we've got Guy Manperson who's currently still trying to chase down Travis Nordstrom. So Travis Nordstrom, he had this championship lead in the bag before this race, but a bad qualifying, a bad race start with that collision early on, and now this with Guy Manperson sniffing at his bumper. It looks like it's going to be an interesting one, as Guy Manperson, though, it looks like there's going to be blue flags to try and get through as we head throughout the rest of this circuit, and maybe that's going to give Travis Nordstrom an opportunity to fly past. Actually, no, I may be corrected. That is actually Mr. Sir, who is now in front of him. So as he's also got Dan Cran sniffing, he's also got Dan Cran close behind him. So looks like, even though it looked like Guy Manperson was going to try disrupt Nordstrom, but now Guy Manperson's being disrupted by Cran and Sir.
Yeah, so this little group shuffled around a bit, and now it's Travis, Mr. Sir, Guy Manperson, and Dan Cran, as they're all, well, Mr. Sir, Guy Manperson, and Dan Cran are bunched up. Travis has managed to gain himself a little bit of breathing room in that transaction. Meanwhile, Rados right up against Barrera coming into this, hoping he might be able to make a move. Koa's catching up to Escorcia with less than a second. We'll keep an eye on that up front.
Yeah, as right now, I just looked on Twitch real quick. I'm gonna look because we've been talking about the gold standings. What about silver championship? Looking at this right now, Kelvin Lau is current. Where is Kelvin Lau? That is a good question. Is he
Lau is in
good?
P31.
He is.
He had
He's in
that top go
P31.
30 penalty.
Yep. But it seems like all he's got to do is finish.
Where is Ruotsalainen?
He is.
Ruotsalainen is P26.
Yep. So I think Kelvin's got this.
Yeah, it looks like Kelvin's got this.
And I don't see Robertson, the other possible contender for the silver championship in this race. I could just be missing him, but I don't see him. So I believe you're right. Lau should theoretically have this in the bag.
Yeah, somebody in Twitch chat just saying Ilpo has to finish 13th to take it. Speaking of taking it, Andrew Rados down the inside on Estefano Barrera, and that was a lovely move right there into turn number 14.
Yeah, but I think he's going to take it back, or at least try to, because he's got that straight line speed and the slipstream, and as it goes side by side in turn 1.
That got real dicey, millimeters apart. Well, that's going to be a lovely move, but they're not going to give it up yet. Andrew Rados now going to look for the outside as we head through turn number 2. You head through turn number 3, then down towards Aspar, and it is going to be Estefano Barrera who will now be ahead.
Seems like Estefano was showing Rados why he was last season's champion.
That car does also help a lot, though, because we saw for how many laps Rados was right behind him on that straight and could do nothing, and then as soon as he got past him on that straight, Barrera just got right back past him. So he has to find a way to pass him, not just right before that straight, and then try and build a gap, and that'll be hard to do.
Yeah, I mean, if you're going to look anywhere to do that, probably into Bernard Martinez or Ferrari. Try and get a dive down the inside into the corners, where of course the Mustang, known for not being exactly the best, and try and build up a gap quickly before turn number 13 and 14, as that's where the Mustang is going to try to catch up. But onto what you were going to say, Stephanie.
I don't remember. Oh, Dunham here though, in a battle with Jeremy Mercer.
Hey, Jesus. Mustang out brakes as well, indeed. As right now, I'm going to be going back onto the main straight. 6 minutes 55 seconds remain. Madhouse Racing, Colin Dunham, continuing to go on down the main straight. He's got Jeremy Mercer right in front of him, and looks like that's going to be a nice little battle towards the end of this race. Crazy to think that all these drivers were bunched up at the start, but now you look on the minimap and it's just everywhere's all over the place. Everywhere's all over the place. Everyone's all over the place.
And interestingly enough, Coadroma is now caught up to Omar and Michael Menning here in 2-3-4. Spangler, is looking very lonely out front with a 10-second lead on Michael Menning.
Honestly, who knows? It may have Spotify on. You don't need to be lonely. You don't need to be lonely when you got Spotify.
That's true.
That is true.
I think he's got some company and voice chat. They're having a nice time. He also is currently holding the fastest lap with a 131.207.
Well, who knows? It's his race to lose at this point. As 5 minutes 41 seconds remain on the clock, and Trey, we've got 5 minutes left. What do we think can happen in these final 5 minutes?
A lot can happen in the last 5 minutes as we see Escorcia making a dive on Menning. We saw Menning make a lot of dives. Oh, contact!
Contact!
That's not what you want to see. I think.
Oh.
He had such a good run. I think Escorcia will be able to keep P4, but I would assume I don't know. the Mustang is not known for its good control through corners, so it wouldn't surprise me if there was a little bit of a mistake on that dive, but I don't know.
That's a shame. I don't know what that'll do to their chances of being able to take that team standing.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it seems like people are surprised that Menning's out there in P2 with a Lexus.
Yeah.
Do these people not know who Michael Menning is? Bro, Michael Menning can select a car and make it quick. Michael Menning doesn't need the car needs Michael Menning.
Yeah, we saw him do pretty good last week, so...
Yeah, I mean, we saw what he could do in Watkins as well, so, well, as I said back then, Michael Menning is Michael Menning. As right now, it is the track has now come down a degree, as interesting one really, not really, but something to talk about. As onto the main straight one more time, Andrew Rados in P number 6 currently, as Estefano Barrera was in front of him. So looks like we're going to be having that nice little battle for the time being. Travis Nordstrom though, one thing to point out, with how close these battles are right now, Travis Nordstrom up in P number 7, Colodromo right there as well. Looking at the gap, 3.065. If something happens, there could be a possibility, because Spangler needs P1 with Nordstrom P4 or lower. So like, he's got it in the bag. Unless something happens to Dromo, Escorcia, Barrera, and Rados, it's Spangler all the way. However, like we say, anything and everything can happen in these final 3 minutes and 7 seconds. Trey.
Yeah, Nordstrom would have to gain 5 seconds between him and P4 and Escorcia while passing 3 people, and I don't know if that's really possible at this point. Again, not impossible, but definitely unlikely, as you were saying.
Yeah, most definitely.
Which we hope doesn't happen. That's not the way we want to see things go.
Absolutely not.
I've seen it happen plenty of times. Anything can happen right now. As speaking of anything can happen, Rados is just still on the back of Barrera. Honestly, somebody should have got a timer out, because how long have these two been going at it? I'm pretty sure for half of the race at this point. So give these guys props when it comes down to it, because oh my god, are they quick? But it looks like that's where it's going to go, as into the braking zone one more time. As just so I can figure things out, Trey, what is Jeff Spangler's average lap time?
Well, I don't know what his average lap time is, because I unfortunately can't see that. But I can tell you that his fastest lap, if I can find it, it was a 1:30.2.
Okay. So,
and his
yeah,
last
we'll
lap
be
was a
going on
1:30.0,
to the final lap
so.
here. So, yeah, we're going on to the final lap here then, as he's only just going down in the final corner right now. So, penultimate lap. So, Andrew Rados and Estefano Barrera are going to have one more lap to go. Andrew Wilson also going to be having a moment there momentarily, as onto the final lap will come the race leader of Jeff Spangler, as right now it is going to be all over the place. Pit window will close in 12 seconds, no surprise there, but we are going to give him his flowers. So sorry to anybody who wants to watch this battle, but it is contractually obligated to give the race leader his screen time on the final lap, as rear end moment there for Andrew Wilson, as right now Jeff Spangler will go through turn number 3 and turn number 4 and turn number 5, I should say, down into turn number 6, as we will now go over to the race leader of Jeff Spangler, as we do continue going on with that bright green. Honestly, it looks like a reversed 2020, looks like a reversed version of the 2025 Kick Sauber car in Formula 1. But it all comes down to this realistically. When in these final 20 seconds, he only has a few more to go through Adrian Campos into Angel Nieto 2 and then through to number 13. The car will move to the right hand side of the circuit, and we know that we can say this without a doubt. It is Travis Nordstrom after an incident early.
Fortunately,
battle.
we have... Sorry, go ahead.
Rados was had an error and is off, so he will drop back to P13.
Yes, but on to the fun part. We have Jeff Spangler doing his donuts. He won. He has won the championship. Congratulations to him, sir. Michael Menning in P2, Kodromo P3, S. Garcia with a somewhat disappointing P4 after that contact. Barrera P5, Nordstrom P6, Mr. Sir P7, Manperson P8, Cran P9, Mercer P10, Dunham P11, Truxcare Claire P12, Rados fell a long way down the order to P13. Unfortunate that it does happen. Krusvich to 14, O'Brien to 15, Marecki to 16, Laz 17, Moffat 18, Crown 19, A. Wilson to 20, Diaz 21, Diego 22, Flamager 23, G. Wilson 24, Simmons 25, Rutzelainen P26. Alex Carpenter's looking to come home in P27 as he's on the front straight. And he will finish P27 with Archie right behind him in P28. And then we have Lau coming in with a somewhat disappointing P29, Chan with P30, and then Durrance P31, and then Michael Louis with a P32 from the pit lane. But that was an exciting race. A lot of good battles, a lot of fun. Michael Menning had a lot of pressure on him. Barrera and Escorcia had a lot of pressure put on them. Nordstrom had a lot of pressure put on him. I think it's rather unfortunate that he wasn't able to keep his championship lead, but he did a good job trying to fight back through the field.
Mic test 1, 2, 3. There we go. Indeed, it was.
Exciting race.
Yeah. Yeah, my mic quality probably sounds a lot worse now because I've had to switch to my goddamn phone. But that is it. Du bist Wunschmeister, Jeff Spangler, with that win. Unfortunate for Travis Nordstrom, and that is going to be it. So let's get these interviews rolling, shall we, when they do eventually move into it, as Jeff Spangler is already in the D1 debrief.
He is, but you tell me who you want me to grab first.
I think we saved the best for last. So let's have a look-see. It was Jeff Spangler, followed by Michael Menning, and then... I'm trying to see this because I'm on my phone now. Was it Kowadromo P number 3?
I believe it was. I will look to make sure, but...
Yes, it was. Yeah, it's Kowadromo P number 3. So let's see if we can get Kowadromo. As everything is being slow on my end. I apologise. As goal of being on data. As everybody, Guyman Person. In fact, let's get Guyman Person. Let's get P number 2 in here. As he is now in the he just joined the D1 debrief, so now we're gonna rob it.
Guyman Person, wasn't he the silver leader? Before we drag him in here.
Yeah, he was the silver
winner for this race.
Give me a second to look at the actual results.
Yeah, I want to make sure we get... I made the mistake once. I won't do it again. But I'm pretty sure he was silver.
We apologise for this. We apologise for this chaotic end, guys.
Yeah,
this is what happens when we have issues. This is what happens when we have technical difficulties. If not, honestly, why did it cut out of the two most important parts tonight? How dare it?
All right, let me grab him in here quick. Hello, Guy, and congratulations on a silver win.
Oh, hello. Thanks.
Hi. Sorry, I took you mid-sentence, didn't I?
Yeah. I was about to thank Mr. Dan Cran for not killing me and being patient.
Oh. Well, Dan, if you're listening, Guy says thank you. So how
That's okay,
was
yeah.
this race for you?
The race was pretty good. I had a lot more race pace than I thought I would, and crazy to say that I was kind of stuck behind Nordstrom and Mr. Sir. There's just nowhere I could send it. I tried to, and I nearly murdered Nordstrom, so I backed off a little bit.
Wise decision that maybe saved your race too, not only yours but his also.
Yeah, I went side by side with Mr. Sir for a few corners, and it just slowed us down so much that unless there was an obvious one, I wasn't gonna do. It was basically just hope that people in front get a drive-through.
Well, it seemed to have worked pretty well for you. You made it up into the silver win for this race. What were the conditions like out there?
Scary, because there's 2 braking points that I can't see when you're right behind a car. And so you just have to hope, because if you back off too much, then Mr. Dan Cran behind you will catch up to you and cause you problems.
Ah.
Yeah, it's a little terrifying trying to send it into the fast right with cars right in front and right behind.
Yeah. Well, you seem to have done very well for yourself tonight. Congratulations on this win.
Thank you.
Of course. Is there anyone you would like to give a shout out to on this final race of the season?
Mr. Bailey, thank you for having me, and I hope you get more than a bucket of pucks when you trade me to some other conglomerate.
Oh, well, congratulations again. Do you guys have any questions or thoughts for Mr. Manperson? Well, he's still with.
No, not really. Just thought you did a really good job with the race today. Kept it clean as far as I could tell, so just good job.
Thank you. Thank you guys for doing the commentary. We really appreciate it.
You're very welcome. It's a pleasure for me, at least.
And me, even though I was late to the party.
Better late than never. Eh?
Exactly.
I will return you so you can finish thanking Dan for not destroying you.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you. All right, so who do we need next?
So, our P3 driver, I believe, was Koadromo, if he's in the D1.
I think I have to dig Koa up if we want Koadromo, which I can work on. You guys want to grab P2?
That would be Michael Menning. I don't know if I'm able to drag people, so...
Is Michael is in there. I will drag him up if you guys want to handle that interview while I see if I can find Koa.
I can do that.
All right. Here we go.
Michael, welcome to the booth.
Hello.
Congrats on your P2
P2.
finish. Sorry. I'm thinking about a different person. Anyway, congratulations on your P2 finish. How was the racing out there?
It was a good time. Lexus, interesting car around here. Usually I feel like cars feel pretty hooked up around here. I feel like track grip is pretty high, and Lexus not feeling like that. Little to no turn in, and I just kind of along for the ride. I mean, the pace felt pretty good, but interesting car to drive around here.
Yeah, well, I will say you were the fastest on the straight. You were, I think it was 2 kilometers an hour faster than anyone else on the pit straight. So, while the corners may not have been felt good, the straight definitely was good.
Yeah, that is for sure. But straight here still isn't enough to really get an overtake on anyone. But I was racing against all Mustangs, so it's not like a huge advantage anyways. But yeah, I mean, I'm really happy with how the race went. I knew I wanted to do the undercut. Quali, I just had such little practice. I know I could have done a better lap, but going in the race, it felt like I was just instantly stuck in traffic. So I was just I'll go for the undercut and I'll let other people react. So as soon as I saw Travis pit out and saw where he pit back out on track, I realized there was plenty of room to pit out too. So went for it and just managed to get both Pereira and Omar on pit exit, which was just perfect. And then the rest of the race was just I was pushing to try and get Jeff towards his pit, but was not enough and happened to kill my tires. So the gap built massively for the rest of the race, but that was part of the strat. Tires just a casualty along the way.
Yeah, you had some pretty intense battles toward the end, including a little bit of contact into, I believe that was turn 2. But overall, a very nice race from you. Is there anyone that you'd like to give a shout out to?
Hey, shout out to Mr. Sir, always being perfect teammate, always helping out. Right a race day. Definitely looking forward to next season too. Obviously, shout out to Jason Allen. Always gotta. He's doing his thing. What a legend. And yeah, about it.
All right. Well, congratulations on your P2. Stephanie, is there anything that you'd like to say to Mr. Michael here?
I don't think so. Besides, congratulations. It's a great
Sweet.
job as always.
I appreciate it.
Anytime. Thank you for joining us up here.
Thank you very much.
He moved himself. I cannot dig up. Oh, wait. There's Koa. I found him.
Hooray.
Hello, Koa, and congratulations on your P3 win-ish.
Thank you.
How was it out there?
It was pretty tough. I feel like my first stint just was not very good. Consistency-wise and just pace-wise, I was just not on the money, like, at all. Rados was on my butt quite a bit. I think that was making me just kind of nervous. And then pit a little bit early just to try to make sure he didn't undercut me. And then, like, after that, I felt like my laps were pretty damn good. Caught up to, like, Escorcia and Menning towards the end there. So, like, that part was pretty nice. And then, yeah, Escorcia and Menning had that little bump. Basically just got gifted the podium. But first podium of the season, so pretty happy to finally get one in. Last race of the season for sure.
Yeah, it's always nice to get that podium, even if it is just at the very end. So, great job on the race. Great job on the pace in order to capitalize on that. We'll say unfortunate for Escorcia, but rather fortunate for you. So yeah, good job out there.
Yeah, thank you. Appreciate it. I'm waiting for the website to update because I think me and Travis might have got the team championship, but I'm not 100% sure.
Yeah, I don't know how those points are going to play out or mess around. So I was trying to do, and I couldn't even begin to do the calculations actually, because I don't even know what the points are for each spot and whatnot, but it was pretty tight. So
yeah, I mean, heading into this one, yeah, I mean, props to Spangler for getting the championship, but the team championship was super tight, between the top 3, so it was pretty much anyone's game. So yeah, we'll see how the points shake out with the drop around and all that, but my guys on our team, Pillars Racing, not to be confused with Railers Pacing, they think we have the championship, but yeah, like I said, we're just waiting for the website to update, and then of course, like, penalties and all that, but I think we have it, hopefully.
All right. Well, if you did manage to win the team championship, congratulations. If not, I'm so sorry. You were so close.
Yeah.
Yeah, appreciate it. Also, shout out to, I want to give a shout out to Travis. He had an awesome season. It was just unfortunate he didn't have that good of a round on this one, so too bad for that. But still, he had an awesome season. And again, shout out to Jeff for putting in an awesome season and getting this championship. Another fun season.
It was. You guys did great. You had a great showing out there, and congratulations again.
Cool, thank you. Love you too, Dad. Bye.
Bye. Tim down there.
All right. I believe it is now time for the grand finale.
Okay. Well, wait. I've
one
been
more?
told that we should also interview our silver champion winner. Our preliminary silver championship winner. He so far looks like it. So we're going to grab him and do a quick interview because it'll be fun.
Exactly.
Hello, Calvin. Congratulations on what looks like will be your silver championship win.
Hello.
Hello.
I wasn't exactly so sure that it was, but I think everyone has convinced me that it is. Definitely made it very interesting with my stop go 30.
Yes, and we were all watching that very carefully, and I also heard all the debate going on behind me about, oh, is it sure? Yeah, I think you have it. Yeah, like back and forth.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think I really confirmed it until maybe like 30 seconds ago, but congrats to everyone. That was not as easy of a race or a season. A lot of ups and downs. I think the middle stint of my season where I was crashed into or something happened not to my responsibility for like 3 straight races in a row, and I was just about to be done. But we came back for some really strong races towards the end. Unfortunately, this one wasn't a strong race, and we also had a shot at the team championship, which ultimately I think we conceded the moment I took my stop go 30. So congrats to Ilpo, and I'm not too sure who finished P3. I think it might have been Michael Louis. So just want to shout out everyone in the division. I think they definitely brought the standards to another level. And congrats to my teammate Jeff for winning drivers or gold. I mean,
that was that's pretty exciting stuff, and it looks like I mean, as far as the website goes, you know, you're in the lead for it, and
it was just a shame because I think we had some during the race in the first 5 laps. We made up some really good spots, and there was definitely more in it. So that was a little disappointing. But aside from that, just want to say thanks to the crew for streaming. You guys have always been there for the entire duration of the season. So I just want to give a huge shout out to you guys for sticking it out there. I know it's a huge commitment with everything that you guys do. So thank you guys.
You're very welcome. It's a pleasure. I enjoy it. I think Trey's enjoying it, and I know Alexa is.
Yeah. Thanks for all your guys' commitment.
Thank you, and congratulations again. I will let you go back to your little powwow and race review down there, and enjoy. We'll look forward to your shoey.
Yeah, thanks, Stephanie, and take care. Safe hi to Faz for me, and thanks to you as well, Trey. Take care, guys.
You too. All right, so now we can drum roll, please, as we bring in our race winner, gold winner. That's all he gets. Congratulations, Jeff.
Hello. Thank you.
You're welcome. How was that? Walked away with it.
Oh, that was great. You know, there's so many different like scenarios that you have going through your head during the week, you know, figuring out like what you need to do and all of that sort of thing and what could happen. So to go out and hook up a PB in quali, I think I had a delta for a 0.6 like one time this week, but never did it. But to do it in quali and to be able to get out in front, and obviously it was Travis's quality definitely helped me out, so kind of gave me a little bit of a boost there. But yeah, I just so incredibly happy.
I bet you got the race win and the gold championship win.
Yeah, super stoked. I just want to say major thanks to Foz, number one, for the banger livery. One of my favorites. It added horsepower and extra downforce. He told me I had to say that.
I'm sure he did.
throughout the season. So, and he also he didn't have a good race, so he spotted for everybody in the chat there. So that definitely helped me. I was able to pit right when I needed to, a couple laps after the folks behind, and it came up pretty close. But then was just able to put my head down and focus and put in the laps and come away with the win.
And that you absolutely did. So we'll be looking forward to not one, but 2 shoeies out of you.
I think they'll just be the one. Unfortunately, I know Kevin and I were pretty close.
Oh wait, yeah, one. I'm sorry.
Yeah. We were pretty close to maybe getting the team championship, but honestly,
No.
I'm so thrilled for him as well. I think you guys just talked to him. I imagine he was a little bit bummed about not being able to do that, but honestly, that would have been, absolute like cherry on top. But I'm just so happy for him to win the silver championship. Yeah, it's just awesome.
That's great, and congratulations. So we'll look forward to your 1 shoey. We'll have a nice variety this way if you guys don't have to do multiples each.
Yeah, then more people get to do shoeies, and that's what we're all there for in the reveal stream. So I'm excited for it.
We are too, and that'll be in probably about a month. I know they told us when it was going to be coming up, but
yeah, I forgot what the dates are. But yeah, definitely gonna enjoy this. When I picked up this game and started doing this in the pandemic, like mid 2020, I never thought that I would be able to win a league, especially one this competitive. So it's kind of been the goal. There's been some ups and downs, and I'm just so happy to be able to put my name up there with some SRA greats like my friend and teammate Ryan Yee, Michael Minning, of course, Travis. What a great season from him. Like I said to him in the chat, like you can't really ask for more, coming down to literally the final race. And of course the 2-time Doug Mitchell. So
yeah, gotta put it in there.
Yeah.
All right.
Absolutely.
Well, congratulations. I will let you go back down and celebrate with your fellow division mates.
Yes, I will be going to get a beer and enthusiastically popping it open.
All right. Well, enjoy and have a great night.
Yeah, thanks. And I just want to say thanks to everybody who puts this on, especially you guys in the booth. I really appreciate the time and effort that you guys put in. So have a good off season, and I can't wait to do it next season.
Looking forward to seeing you out there next season again.
All right. Thanks, guys. Good night.
You're welcome. Good night. All right. And that, I believe, folks, will be rounding us out. As we look at our calendar, we're all done. Race 8, Valencia. This was our final race. It is over. But we are not done racing. Tomorrow night, you are welcome to join us here on Twitch at the same time for D2's race. Also, over on YouTube, we will be featuring D4 and D6, which you will get to see Trey racing down in D6 on YouTube if you're over there.
It'll be a good race. I'm looking forward to it.
Are you?
Yeah, I got P5 in Alton Park, and so it'll be fun.
Good. And all that night racing fun. So definitely join us then. As this is the season finale, we will not be racing after this week for a few weeks. Season 14 will begin March 31st. And other dates to be determined and announced at a later date. Again, thank you all for joining us and showing your support for our drivers who put in hours a week practicing to enjoy this 1 hour race. And you guys get to enjoy watching it. Trey, do you have any final thoughts?
No, this was just a fun race to watch. It's unfortunate the season's coming to an end, but all great things have to end. But next season's coming fast.
It is. So hopefully you guys will all join us next season. Thank you and good night.